Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Art Whisperer 88. I'm going to continue my working on the 8x10 Gelli plate, and let me show you a quick tip on how to find the middle. Since this plate is very flexible and it's good on both sides, what I do to find the middle is I fold this thing. I fold the plate gently, and I have my Sharpie pen, and then I make a tick mark right here. It's not going to show on your print because it's on the side. And the same thing here. You can do this with your other plates as well, larger. But this is just like a shortcut to find the center point without elaborate measuring. And here's another trick. Instead of fumbling around to see if this is in the middle, you already have your center line. Here's the paper against the registration bar, and you can see that there's more space here on the top than on the bottom. So you can eyeball this and push it up, and figure out how much space you want on the top and the bottom. I work in a portrait mode, and usually I like to have a little more space in the bottom so I can sign my name and then put the edition number and the date. So I'm going to leave a little more room in the bottom than the top. So I'm gonna push this just a little bit higher, like so. And then there, I know I have space here in the bottom. And here is another trick which I should have shown you earlier, is how to get, what I've been doing is eyeballing the center of the page. Now if you want to be a little more exact, you take a ruler, measure your paper. Okay, this is 8.5, so half of that would be 4.25. So I'll make a tick mark there. Depending on how many pages you're going to use. Let's see, let me spread these out like a deck of cards. Here in my hand I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm kind of staggering them like steps on a staircase. So based on this 4.25, because this is an 8.5 piece of paper, I will just draw the line that corresponds to the center line, like so, just as a visual guide. So when you're printing, you don't need to eyeball it. The little tick mark's already there. Here, I'll show you. You see this little mark there? I just line it up this lines up with that. And I know that this is exactly centered. And then second paper, and so on, and so on. So that's just a little trick to make printing easier, especially if you're trying to do it as quickly as possible before the paint dries. So now that I've shown you these two tips, let me get started on the printing. Yeah, I forgot one right there. So you won't see these because they're in the back, but it's just a little help to get you to center your paper on your plate. So let me get set up with my brayers and my stencils, and we'll be rolling. I'll be right back. Okay, before I start rolling, I want to make some more paper stencils, and I'm going to do some more of those onion rings, like I call them. And since my plate is only 8 by 10, I have to reduce the size, make them smaller. I'm just creating these random oblong shapes that I can use as a stencil. So maybe rather than use a razor blade, I think it'll be faster to use a pair of scissors. So now I will make some onion rings. Now, I know this is a bit labor intensive, but the trade-off is that it's original. It's something that I made myself, and I did not depend on a store-bought stencil. Okay, so I have my onion rings, and then now I can do some strips. I have some strips that I had cut earlier. I'll make new ones because they're not hard to do. Just going to put this aside. It will be within arm's reach. I just wish I had a larger table, but if I did have a larger table, I'd have more junk on it. So I'll just have to make do. Okay, I'm back from a short break, and I'm going to start by charging the plate with some green gray. And some Arctic. This is made by Lukas. So I'm starting out with a very light blue, bluish gray. To do my scribbles. So here's my tick mark, and I'm going to line that up with the arrow. Okay, this is the first print. It's a very nice, cool gray. So now I'm left with a ghost print. So I'll see, maybe I can use vermilion. I'm applying significant amount of pressure so that the first layer will transfer. Let's see. I like this. Okay. Let me use aqua green. And some purple. Again, I'm going to do some scribble. I like that. Okay, so now I will do some vermilion. And some Indian yellow. Very cool. I love the combination. Now I'm going to go back to a light color. Oh, maybe I'll do caramel. this is beautiful. I love the complexity of this. Okay. Then there's hardly any left here, so I'm just going to clean it up. And I will air dry these guys to get ready for the next step. Okay, I'm back from a break, and as you can see here, I have arranged some of those cutout stencils on the plate. I call these onion rings, and I'm gonna try to use a contrasting color to apply on this particular print. And I think I'm going to use a little turquoise. And phthalo blue. Just have to be very careful not to let the stencils lift off. I just hope they stay put. Okay, so now here's the tricky part, is to get these guys off. I probably can save these because these are very interesting. See, by the way, I'm putting them on a piece of paper so they don't pile up on top of each other and stick, because these are wet right now. Okay. Oh, one more. Okay, let's see. So this is the print right here. Okay. I'm gonna line up this is where the pencil line and the arrow become very helpful when you want to line up your second layer with the first one. Okay. Very cool. Check this out. It's very very striking pattern. Now I'm going to use the ghost print and see what I get. I'm gonna do that on this one because the blue and red have a very strong contrast. So we'll see. I'm really making sure that the ghost print transfers by pressing very hard. Very cool. I like that. Even if it's just slight touches here and there, it does add to the painterly effect on this piece. And the funny thing is, this is only 8.5 by 10, but the design makes it look very large. In fact, I can imagine this as a large canvas. It would make a very nice composition. So this is the red piece. Now I'm going to continue using let me see. Going to continue using these pieces here. Okay, this time I will place the strips on the left and the onion rings on the right. Okay, I'm just going to press these down so they don't move around. So this is an example of the stickiness of the plate becoming an advantage. It's very handy to hold things in place, especially if it's a stencil or something that's slippery. Okay, I'm gonna use this Indian yellow. And some caramel. Maybe I will put a spot, just a little spot of vermilion. I'm going to use this. I'm really more comfortable using a razor blade. Okay, so the next print is, actually I'm changing my mind. I'm going to use this instead. I think it's a better contrast. Okay, I pressed down on that really well. So let's see what we got. I think most of the ink has transferred. I think this is especially cool. Check this out. Usually the ghost print or the residue creates these incredible textures. I like them a lot. Okay, what's next? I'll try to liven this up. Okay. Just press these down. Going to use some vermilion. And some of this caramel color. I'm going very easy because the stencils are trying to lift off. Okay. Let's see if I can add some little marks here. So this is the blue-gray print, and oh, actually it's this way. And this is where the little tick mark comes in handy, because sometimes in an abstract print you could easily put it in upside down, and this is indication that this is the right side up. Maybe down the road I will invest in a little device called a Baron, B-A-R-A-E-N, B-A-R-E-N, a Baron. It's a circular, usually circular piece with a handle, and then you press on the paper. I've seen that used in some printmaking shops. I mean, so far I've been making do with my hand, so I think I'm doing okay. Very interesting. Here's a close-up. I love that mottled effect. And this is totally accidental or unintended, but I do love the texture of it. Almost like a woodcut, or those little, you see those little pock marks are like the marks of the grain of the wood. Okay, so far so good. Very pleased with the result. They're way beyond what I expected. So I have this piece left, but I think the background is so beautiful that I'm just going to leave it as is, and maybe just put some collage and then call it done. Here's the other piece, and here's the first one. I'm very happy with these. So I'm gonna switch on my fan again and air dry these. And I'll be right back. Okay, back from a break. And these guys have dried completely. They have this beautiful matte finish. And these are the leftover stencils that I saved. And I think these would work as collage, like so. like that. So just gonna mount these. Okay, that's one. And here's the other one. I decided just to put these three elements and that's it, because I like the background so much. I think it works so nicely. There. I call that done. So here are the pieces from this series. It's the first two. And then here's this one. And this one. And finally, I have this one. So I think they make a very nice suite of 5. And these were all done in one shot. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. too bad I can't show them all in one camera shot because my table is so small. Let me see if I can. There. And these will look nice framed. There you go. Well, I'm quite happy with this session of stencil and working on a 8x10 format. And just because it's a smaller format doesn't mean it's less effective. I hope you like this little demonstration, and I hope to see you next time.